I could really go for one of those splurge drinks right now. I don't even believe they make those anymore. I think the last time I've had one was 2014. Scratch his chin. If you could help me out here and find me one of those drinks, that'll be super awesome and far out even.
Hi! My name is Annie. I do seem to be in a rather, I guess, precarious outfit. Let me put on something more. Ah, here we go. How's that? My name's Chris Hansen. Please, have a seat. Oh, never mind. It's just a horsey. It's just Patrick. Oh, I dropped my cord. Fucking cat! Eyeball. Eyeball. I'm dark. It's called The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. They're trying to find his name. Oh, that must hurt. Getting the tape off, especially since he has fur. Old man. He's also taped to me. You can tell because of the walls that it's his brain. Nice. I did. Circus. Boring.
Shia Kazing!
He killed himself. I know, he's a raisin.
They're selling chocolate.
Lumpy touch! Slutty McButtsex on Omegle? Just a bunch of PNGs, don't mind it. Oh. This isn't a beach, there's no water! The trees have veins. Giant Garfield. Bathroom. Funny room? Oh! Nice. That's it? That's the funny room? That was just a bunch of cheap walk cycles! Oh, SpongeBob betrayed us!
Uh-uh-uh. Uh-uh-uh. I'm gonna need to see your sketty wiener waffle before you can get in there.
Hello there, my name is Mr. Jarson. You might be wondering why I had a stupid freaking big jar in my freaking mouth. This is my jar, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire freaking life. There's a moment in a young boy's life where he becomes a man, and that's when they realize having a jar in your mouth is the most amazing experience in your entire life. If you haven't already, I highly recommend finding a nice little mason jar and plucking that sucker into your freaking pie hole. 2014 was the year I first put a jar in my mouth. Ever since then, I've been sucking down on some empty mason jars like the true mad lad you see right before your very eyes. It gets to a point where the humidity inside your mouth starts to collect that succulent mouthwater and starts filling up the jar. Once you feel like you might drown, that's when you change out the jar for a new one. I probably have about like 1 million jars full of saliva back at my place. In conclusion, though, I highly recommend collecting humidity from your mouth into jars so that you have a nice drink to save for later. It's a really fun experience, and I promise you won't be disappointed.
Our story begins with a man, an old man who goes by the name Dennis. Dennis was sitting on his favorite chair until he heard the sound of his wife, Abigail, bickering in his right ear. He couldn't hear from his left ear because of a welding accident. As Abigail was yapping away, he couldn't help but notice a mysterious stain on her blouse. What could that stain be? It was unlike any other color Dennis had seen before on a stain. While this was happening, Dennis felt a canker sore underneath his tongue. "Dennis! Are you even listening to me?" his wife exclaimed profusely. Dennis didn't want to deal with this situation anymore, so he shouts out the words, "Meander oil!" Out of pure shock, Abigail leaves the room very bewildered, almost as if the whole thing never even happened. That gets rid of that problem, Dennis thinks to himself. Little does Abigail know, Dennis had taken Abigail to a hypnotist 20 years prior and paid the hypnotist to make Abigail reset every time he said the words, "Meander oil." Meander oil has no meaning, it's just one of those words that sound pretty cool when you say it. Dennis sits alone in his living room. He looks around and notices a spiderweb in the corner of the living room. He's too comfortable sitting in his lovely chair, so he lets this problem slide. His wife comes back and begs Dennis to take out the trash. He says no. Abigail replies, "Why not?" And Dennis says, "Because." They both stand there in awkward silence. Dennis then looks at her stain again. Abigail then walks away and takes out the trash instead. Dennis thinks about his father and how he used to wear big suits with big shoulder pads. Abigail comes back and requests that they get a divorce. Dennis says, "Meander oil."
Hey, dude, do you mind?
Freaking big jar in my freaking mouth. This is my jar, and best thing that ever happened to me in my entire freaking life. There's a moment in a young boy's life where he becomes a man, and that's when they realize